Alright, Kai. Thank you for coming on.
No worries, mate. No
so
worries.
yeah, let's start off with your journey, man. I want to know kind of like as a young age, like did you're still young now, but like how did you first get into football? Like is it a family thing or what was it?
Yeah, football's always definitely been in my family. Like my dad's side more, but my mum always loved it as well. And then from a young age, maybe 2 or 3, I was always playing football. Like I started at KCC. That was my boyhood club. So like from the ages 2 to 3, I was always on it. Like, but at that age, I actually preferred tennis. So I was skipping football sessions for tennis and stuff. And then I think once I started playing competitively, like around 4, maybe 5, like in under 7, so I was playing up. Like ever since then, like football took over.
KCC is what kind of club is KCC?
It's just a Cowling Cricket Club, so like it's in Jordan, and it still play football. They're in the YPL, so the Youth Premier League, and I always loved it there. Like it was great growing up, and I had a lot of great coaches that I'm thankful for today. But at some point, I thought I had to leave because there were better players at other clubs, and I just thought I wanted to improve more. So.
Were you born here, Kai?
Yeah, so I was born here in to be honest, I can't remember what hospital, but yeah, I was born here 2009, March 30th. So.
And you were like half Scottish because of your dad, or?
Yeah, I'm actually fully Scottish, so
okay.
Like my mum and dad are both fully from Scotland. Like they grew up there. They're both from Glasgow, born and raised. So they moved out here maybe 20 odd years ago to be teachers. So and then they had my sister. They went back to Scotland, had my sister, and then they had me in Hong Kong. So.
You mentioned that at age of 2 or 3 you were playing football already. That's really young.
Yeah.
So is that something that maybe your father from a young age like kind of told you to play football, or like, did you just kind of naturally grow into it?
Yeah, I don't know. Like my parents always said like I was bound to be a footballer. Like my mum always said like I was kicking her in her stomach and stuff, and like as soon as I came out, like I was kicking balloons and kicking softballs, like, and so I kind of guess ever since I was young, like I really did enjoy it. Like there was a little stage, I guess I preferred tennis and other sports, probably because my best friends at the time played tennis more than football as well. And then, but once I started playing competitively, like my parents said, I was always just maybe a couple steps ahead of the other kids at a young age, and ever since then I just kind of think I've loved it, and like I've just never stopped since, really.
Do you remember like who you watched at that age when you were so young? Did you used to watch your dad as kind of like a role model, or did you have somebody like on TV that you watched that you felt like,
Yeah.
I want to be like this player or that player?
When I was super young, I don't think I watched football on TV that much, or I watched it when my dad would watch it, but I wouldn't know the players or anything. Like I was a bit, and then so I'd watch my dad all the time. He played for KCC as well, and I loved it. Him and my best mate's dad, Dave Christmas, used to always play together, so it was always great fun to go watch, because I'd go watch it with the Christmases as well. And then as I got a bit older, I loved watching like football, and I still love watching football. Like players like Wayne Rooney, Harry Kane, like they've kind of always been an inspiration for me. I still love watching them play. Like,
were you always a striker? Or?
Yeah, I was always a striker. To be fair, like ever since I started playing, I was playing up top, and then I'm still playing up top. So it's going good for now. So
you never play in any other position?
No, I've played in other positions, obviously. Like I was a good goalkeeper growing up as well. I'm playing goals as well.
You have a pretty good build for a goalkeeper now.
Yeah, actually. I know. So I guess I played a bit of all positions, sort of. But when it came down to it, if it was an important game, I'd always play up top. Like I've always enjoyed scoring goals. Like it's an addiction. I can't really explain scoring goals. Like gives you some sort of high. Like, and I still love scoring goals. So just gotta keep scoring the goals and sorted. But yeah, mostly a striker since a young age. Yeah.
So how long were you at KCC for? Before, obviously now we're in the Hong Kong Football Club at the moment.
Yeah.
So how did you go from that to? Because I saw basically your whole youth development in terms of football was at the club.
Yeah.
So how did you go from KCC to this?
So KCC was my first club. I was there from, as I said, like a super young age, maybe 3 till about maybe under 10 or under 11 I left, and then I went to APSS with Chansey and a lot of great players that are playing for under 18 at football club now. And then APSS, when I went, we had a good season, and then that's kind of when COVID started to come into play. And then going into my first YPL under 14 season, so I was under 13. Chansey went to Southern, and he brought a lot of us from APSS over towards Southern. and it was a good season, but it was disrupted a lot by COVID. So like half the season there was nothing open, no football, no training. So it was a bit disruptful in my football journey. But after that, like we had a great second half to the season, and we learned a lot. And then after Southern, that was the season I came to football club.
You actually played for Southern Soul?
Yeah.
But this is like in the youth age?
Yeah, youth age group, so under 14. Like,
what was that like?
I really enjoyed it. Like, we used to always go to the first team games and support, so I did really enjoy it.
You were one of those kids in the red jersey?
Yeah. We used to all go. So it was really good. And then after my season at Southern, me and everyone that was at Southern all came to football club, including, Chancy went to work with the HKFA that year, and so we came to football club, and that was my first under 14 season, and I ended up playing up that year for the 16s.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so that was really good for me. Like, I think that's the first time I ever felt like I wasn't physically dominating, and so it was good to learn from that. And then I've been at football club ever since. I went under 16s for 2 seasons, and then under 18s and first team for the next 2. So
what was the APSS that you mentioned?
Asia Pacific Soccer School, so that's still running. Like,
so it's like an extra academy?
Yeah, kinda. It's like a youth. I think they go up to maybe under 12s. Like, they do golden age and everything. Like,
and they develop players and
yeah.
Wow.
It's like a soccer school kinda. Like, it's like a bit like KCC and football club and for the younger age groups. I'm not too sure how they're doing now or how it's, but when I was younger, it was the best team sort of, and it was where I learned a lot of my football, to be honest. Like,
what was the biggest difference for you when you came to football club? Obviously, looking at the facilities here is amazing. There's everything here. So for you to come from a different background to this stuff, what was the biggest like eye-opening thing for you when you first came here?
I think it was just about like the standards. Like, I remember my first year at football club. Obviously I was under 14 but playing up under 16s, and I came to training we have black training kits, and I came to training in like my green school top because I just forgot my kit. And I just remember my coach Steve at the time having a go at me, and at the time I was thinking, like why, like what's that? But now that I think that it's just about standards. Like, you have to be wearing your kit, you have to be looking the same. Like, it's like you're a team. So so that was an eye-opener. Like, it really reveals my standards. And I struggled that season with injuries and stuff, and like hanging out with maybe some people I shouldn't have been hanging out because they didn't want to be professional footballers like me. And so I think after that season, like, or halfway through that season, I really realised like I got back fit, no injuries, and I had a really strong second half of the season. So.
You mentioned like you wanted to be a professional player. Like, at what age did that kind of come to your mind to think that, okay, I think I can make it? Like, what was it that made you think that because it's obviously a big dream for a lot of players, right? Like, but everyone says they want to be professional, but then for you, you are very serious about it. So what was it that made you realize that actually I think I can?
Yeah, I think it was 2023 summer. So that was off the back end of my first under 16 season, and there was a lot of people that thought I should have kept playing under 14s, maybe, like I wasn't ready for under 16s. And then we went away to a tournament in Oakham, and we played teams like Notts Forest, Dundee from Scotland, I can't remember all, it's Shrewsbury Town, like, so all these top academies, Port Vale as well, and we were just a under 14 team from football club. So this was an under 14 tournament, so I dropped back the age group because we were just bringing our strongest team.
Was that the first time you went abroad, or was it in Hong Kong?
Not the first time I went abroad, like, for football, like, but the first time I went abroad out of Asia for football. Yeah. So I'd been to JSSL, like, in Singapore and stuff, but it's the first time I'd been to the UK or another continent for football. And and I had a really good tournament, like, which was really eye-opening. Like, I played out my skin in the tournament, and everyone did at the tournament, so it was really good to see that, because it kind of makes you realise, like, if I can compete with these guys, then, like, I just need to keep my head screwed on, and I can compete with them in the future as well. So that's when I kind of realised, like, I've got a real chance at this. Like, I just need to stay locked and keep moving forward.
So how was it when you start to get a groove on in Hong Kong Football Club? Did you feel like you were like belonging there? You don't feel out of place. You feel like you were comfortable being in that environment.
Yeah, definitely. Like my first like proper season of under 16s where I was like in the age group, like I had a really good season as well. That was under Chansey, and I really enjoyed that year. Like it was all my best mates in a team, and we were all training every week, like playing every week. So I remember that season a lot. Like it was real eye-opening as well, because obviously in Hong Kong the youth level won't be as good as places in the UK and stuff, but it was a really good standard, that league. There's a lot of talent in the 2009, 2008 kind of age group. So we ended up, we won the FA Cup in the end for the 16s, but we lost out to Kitchee in the league. But it's always a good battle between football club and Kitchee, so that was good.
What about in terms of like the first team? So at that time, were you only training with the under 16, or were you already kind of training with the first team?
At that point in the under 16s, I was training with the first team, not regularly, like just I'd get called up every now and again. That's when Monty and Tony were still taking it. And it was honestly a really good experience, like just to play with the physicality. Like it kind of taught me a few things I needed to know about where to touch the ball, like where to take my touches and everything, when to pass the ball. Because obviously at that age now, and still now, I can't fully compete with big Brazilian defenders, and I can compete with them, but physically if I'm going one-on-one against them, like I need to think about what I'm going to do, because obviously if I make contact with them they can muscle me off the ball. So that was
positioning.
So that was really helpful going up to train, because there was a lot of players like Leo Perez back there, LP9, like who left the club last year, but I got to learn from players like him and stuff, which is really helpful in my development. And so it really does like go a long way.
I mean, you are very like tall and physical now, but what were you like back then in terms of physicality?
Yeah, I was definitely skinnier, like and smaller.
But you were already tall.
Yeah, I was still pretty tall. I was probably around 5'9", 5'10".
Already,
like yeah. And so, like it was never a problem, like my physicality, but obviously I just needed to learn a few things, and I'm still learning today. Like you never stop learning really, and I think that's what a beautiful thing about sports and football is. Like there's always a new chance to improve and a new chance to learn. So
I mean, fast forward a little bit to the first team debut. Obviously you are, I believe, like the youngest ever Hong Kong Premier League goal scorer, right?
Yeah.
So how did the call from the first team come? I guess that happened, was it last season or the season before?
That was last season. So I officially joined football club in January. So that was just due to I was back and forth from Scotland training and stuff, and then in January I fully signed a contract with likes of like Jack and Nicky, who were around the same time.
That was January 25th, 2025.
Yeah, January 2025.
Do you remember the call? Like, how did it happen?
Yeah, well, it was because I was actually meant to move back to Scotland because I was trying to sign with Rangers, but due to Brexit and FIFA regulations, like I couldn't sign. It's just illegal because I'm under 18 and I'm treated as a foreigner in Scotland.
Even though you're Scottish?
Even though I hold a passport. It's because my parents live here and there's a bunch of rules and regulations. I know, like, it's unfortunate, but it earned me the chance to play professionally here, so like I'm kind of grateful for it. And so
did it set you back a little bit, like knowing that you could have at that time? I guess at that moment you probably wanted to go to Rangers.
Yeah. Like obviously.
And then that didn't come through, and then you ended up like having to sign here. What was that like for you?
It was tough at first, like, because I'd moved, like I'd officially moved. I'd left my school kinda and taken all my stuff to Scotland, thinking like this was it. I was gonna move. I was leaving all my best friends, my childhood friends, and everything I'd grown up with, kinda. But that's kind of what I was willing to do for football, like, because I know it's what I want to do. But in the end, like, it couldn't work out, and okay, like, you take a couple of days and you accept it, and then after that, you just get ready to go back, like. And then I ended up taking everything in my suitcase all the way back, and then I remember my first training session back, I was just kind of ready to go, like, and then I made my debut in the February here against Taipo.
Yeah.
And then from then on, it's just kind of been every week trying to make the squad, trying to make a difference. So.
How was that for you? What was the debut like? Do you remember like that?
Yeah, I remember the debut. I remember I came on, I think we were already 4-0 down, to be fair.
Were you nervous? Did you feel nerves, or what were you feeling at that time?
I was definitely nervous, like less so because obviously it was already 4-0, so you're kind of like you're coming on and the game's already a bit done and dusted, like. But I remember coming on and just thinking like, oof. And the first quarter, I came on during a corner and I had to mark, I can't mind his name, Typo's centre back, who's about 6'9", like Marcus. And so I was just remember thinking like, if this ball goes anywhere near this guy, like it's over. Luckily the ball didn't go near him, and I ended up getting a nice couple of touches on the ball, and it was a good debut individually, obviously not as a team because we lost, but I'm forever grateful for it, and it was a good stepping stone to make my debut.
What about scoring your first goal? Because like I mentioned, you are the official youngest ever goal scorer of the Premier League. So, talk us through like that experience of scoring your first goal.
Yeah, it was actually a huge relief, I think, like scoring my first goal, because I had started the game before against Sullen, had a really good game, but I hadn't scored. But it was the last game of the season, and I wanted to score, because if you don't score in the last game of the season, you're waiting months before you can make your next appearance and try and score. So, and you never know when your next appearance will be, especially at this age and in a professional league. Like it's give and go, like you don't know. But scoring the goal was unbelievable. Like I just remember I couldn't get a grin off my face after scoring. Like, and it was a free kick and it just dropped to me, and I was just like, I'm gonna hit this. Like, it went in luckily, and so ever since then I've held the title for youngest goal scorer. So.
You remember the game and where it was Suicide One, wasn't it?
No, it was Shamshed Po, so where we're playing tomorrow actually, and it was against Kowloon City. And I just remember, inside the first 10 seconds of the game, I had a chance one-on-one with the keeper, and I just hit the ball, and it kind of rolled to him. And I was thinking, right, if I get another chance here, I'm gonna have to bury it. And so the ball dropped perfectly for me, and then I just absolutely smacked it. And then I remember I was in a daze after scoring, and I ran to the other side of the cameras. So the cameras were on one side, and I went to the other corner flag. And I just remember Alan Mann, like the photographer, saying, "What are you doing?" Like, and I was like, "I'm sorry." Like, I was just buzzing to have scored. Like, I didn't care about the cameras. Like,
so you have to get used to knowing where the camera.
Yeah, that was it. But yeah, honestly, it was great. I still got some good photos from it, to be fair. So, but yeah, that was an amazing experience, honestly.
You mentioned like for you, like off camera, you said scoring goals is kind of like almost like a drug. It gives you like a special kick, right? So doing that, scoring your first ever goal in professional football, does that drive you on to want to score more and more and more? Yeah,
definitely. Like, it's something about you have to score a goal to understand the feeling. Like, it just, like, every time I score, like, especially at that level, like, it gives me goosebumps. Like, because you've got your team around you, you've got players, managers around you. Like, it's just an undescribable feeling. Like, I think it's my favourite feeling, like scoring a goal. Like, there's nothing that compares to it. Like, so. Yeah, unbelievable, and I'm just here to score more goals like I want to.
Apart from scoring your first goal last season, what was the other highlight for you as your first kind of like, I guess, professional season, half season for you, because you came in January?
Yeah.
What was like the most highlight moment for you last season, like being a first professional for you?
Yeah, I think last 2 games of the season, I got my first 2 starts in the league, and I just think those 2 starts, like, they really did help me improve, like, because you can come on like 80 minutes and it's a completely different game.
Difficult
but
to do
yeah, but when you start a game, you're there for usually at least 60 minutes. Like, I ended up playing both 90s that game, if I remember correctly. But like, it's good fitness, and you realise the physicality you need to actually run back and forth against seasoned veterans and professionals. And also just the technical ability you need and stuff. So I'd say getting those 2 starts, they really progressed me further and helped me to get to where I am now.
There was a bit of a hype last season when you guys obviously surprised everyone by going to the FA Cup semi-final.
Yeah.
That scene when there was like young guys like Benny and these guys were like making a name almost.
Yeah.
So, like, does it feel good to have other young players coming up at the same time with you, like almost like empowering each other kind of thing?
Yeah, definitely. Like, I mean, the young players you think about, like myself, Will, Nicky, Jack, like, they're some of my best mates as well. So not only do I get to train with them because they're really good players, but they're also my best friends. So it's really enjoyable, honestly. Like, after training, like, might smash each other and get into it, and then we'll go up to the pool and have a swim, and like it's back to normal. So like even though obviously we've probably not done what we wanted to do this season at the football club, like in terms of points and results, like it's still a unbelievable place to be training at, and it is really enjoyable. Like, so I'm grateful to be coming through the ranks with other young players as well, because it also can give you kind of a gauge of where you're at, and if they're improving, you want to be improving, and you improve together, sort of. So
I think 2025 was kind of like a pretty of a crazy year for you. So you made the debut, you signed a contract, you scored a goal, and then now we're talking about in the summer you have the opportunity to play against Manchester United, like under 15, right?
Yeah.
So
under 16.
So what was that like? I mean, that's pretty crazy. I was there obviously for the first game.
Yeah.
Two, was it?
Yeah,
you scored two in the first game, and then obviously you were voted man of the match. Right?
Yeah.
Tell us how that process. How did you become in that team and the Hong Kong select team, and what was that experience like playing against Man United?
Yeah. Team? I can't really remember. To be honest, I think I completely forgot that Man United come over in the summer. It slipped my mind, because I remember I watched all my mates the year before who played against them, but in the Hong Kong team. So I don't think I knew that there was an under 18 like select team. And then I remember it came out, and I was just like, oh, like brilliant, like that was great. Because there's training and stuff for it as well, and it was with Darren and at TKO on the perfect grass, so the training was unbelievable, obviously. And then it just came to like the game night, and we were all prepared, like we were kind of all ready, and then we had a slow start. We conceded a penalty early on, and then after that we were all over them for most of the game, up until the last 10 minutes maybe, where we conceded 2 penalties. But yeah, honestly, it was a great experience, and I had a good game, but everyone had a really good game, honestly. Like, it wasn't just me. And then to be honest, I didn't even know there was a man of the match. Like, so when my name got called, I didn't really realise at first. Like, it just said my name, and I was like, what? And then and then it just got to the point Phil Jones just handed me this trophy, and I was like, wow. Like, so it's something I'll never forget, and it's something I'll tell my kids about. Like Phil Jones is a hell of a player, and he's presented me a man of the match award. Like, that's something I'll cherish forever, and hopefully do it again this summer. So
did you have yourself before? Obviously, Man United is the biggest name in the world football. Did you have a target that you want to do something or prove a point, or in that game, like before the game, did you say to yourself, I want to make sure that I got extra incentive for you?
Yeah,
against Man United?
I mean, I think whenever you play football, you should have that kind of feeling that you never know who's watching, because you could have the game of your life and there could be anyone at the game watching.
Yeah.
Like, but obviously against Man United, you know there's going to be people watching, and so I think everyone that's playing just kind of wants to make a name for themselves and prove to everyone that you can play at that level and against an opposition like Man United, and that's what I tried to do, and I ended up doing it. Like, so that was it. Like, it was just, I'm still grinning about the night. Like, it was just an unbelievable night, and yeah, so, and that helped me in the end, obviously, because it moved me on to Scotland national team, and because you never do know who's watching, and so they probably saw that and thought, we might as well give this guy a chance. So
yeah, you mentioned that you don't know who's watching, right? So obviously after that, there's been a lot of different media circulating around the performance,
yeah,
how well you did, and then you talked about how Scotland came in, partly because of that. So tell me about, like, what was that like? So you went from scoring the first goal in Hong Kong, and then you got selected to play against Man United, you got man of the match, and then now you suddenly got a call from Scotland. Like,
yeah.
So, like, how did that escalate to that level, and do you remember what happened? Like,
yeah, so Scotland, that was the summer before, like, when I was in Scotland over the summer before I came back from a Man United game. That was kind of, I was training in Scotland with clubs and teams, and I was playing well there as well. So it was always kind of like an idea that maybe Scotland would come in, but it was never like, obviously there's like logistics and stuff. I'm living in Hong Kong and everyone else is in the UK. Like, so it's a big difference. But then obviously I had that game, and I kind of think that like sealed it. And then I think it was maybe a week later or 2 weeks later, we went on pre-season with football club to Macau. And this is actually a bit of a funny story. So we played the game against Macau's national team, and then me, Will, Nicky and Jack were on hotel lock because we were underage, like, so we weren't allowed to go out. But obviously we just stayed up late in the hotel, like just by ourselves. And then we get a call from Chansey in the morning, like super early, saying like to come see him. And I had like 100 missed calls from my parents. So I'm thinking like, right, what have I done here? Like, yeah, I'm in trouble. There's a big problem here. And then it turned out that my parents were calling me. Like, I was absolutely like shitting myself. Like, I didn't know what was going to come of it. And then I called my mum and I was like, hello, like all nervous. And it's like 5 a.m. in the morning. I've got sleepy eyes, like hair's all over the place. And then my mum just said like, you're going to Portugal basically. Like, you've made the Scotland national team. And my parents were like, they couldn't believe it, like grinning side to side, and so was I. I was super happy. And so I was in a room with Will, and I told him straight away, like, and he was obviously super happy for me as well. And then we went downstairs, we had to go see Chansey, and then Chansey was just kind of telling us what he wanted for us that season and stuff, like, and took us through it. And then he already knew as well, so, and then I told Jack and Nikki as well, and everyone was just super happy. So like, it's memories are like that, like I'll never forget. And obviously it just shows you like the true friendship and teammates you have as well, because they're just happy for me at the end of the day. So.
And then obviously you went to Portugal.
Yeah.
It was like a training camp, was it? With, like,
yeah. So that was like it's like a build up to the Euros, that training camp. So I think, yeah, that was the first games for under 17 that season though. So we played Serbia first, then Portugal, then Italy. And I came off the bench against Serbia. And I had a nice little cameo that game. It was like, that was my debut for Scotland, which was like unbelievable as well. And then I started against Portugal and Italy, and I had a really good trip. And then I came back and I just kind of felt like I was flying in Hong Kong. And then I picked up a few niggles and injuries that kept me out. And then after that I was all right. And then moving into November, the next camp. That was actually the Euro qualifiers. So this was like what stuff was at stake to make the Euros, and we beat England in the first game, and I didn't get on. I got super sick going away for this trip. I had really bad tonsillitis, so I managed to be fit for the second game against Sweden, and then the third game the tonsillitis came back, but on the other side. So it was the worst possible time to get it. So that the third game I was on drugs and stuff for the pain and antibiotics, so I wasn't even on the bench, which was a real shame for me, obviously, because it's kind of where you want to make your name in the squad, so you stay in for the next one. But obviously it just wasn't the right time for me. Like, I believe in everything happens for a reason, kind of. So like, just wasn't the right time, I guess. And then I came back. And then I was still super sick when I got back, so I was out for a while. And then I finally got back fit, and then I broke my toe in my first like friendly match back. So that was obviously not great. So I was out for another month, and then that's kind of why I was out from like October-ish, November times all the way to January. And then since January I've been back fit, and then trying to get back.
Did you play in those qualifiers as well? Or?
I played against Sweden, played 45 minutes, and then. Like, honestly, even in that game, I don't think I was myself, because I was still on antibiotics and stuff, and then so I only played 45 minutes that trip. Like, I managed to train every day, but even when I was training, like, it was sore, but I still trained pretty well. And then, but the games, like the last game, I was in a lot of pain, so last game I couldn't even suit up for it. But honestly, it's still a great experience to even be named in the squad, and all the boys on the trip are amazing, and the coach and staff, and the rest of the staff as well. Like, and it was in Scotland as well, so everyone that came to watch, like, it's just it's like one big family. So.
What was the biggest kind of eye-opening experience for you being in the Scotland camp over these two kind of like?
Yeah, I think the physicality of like the game, even at under 17 level, was the real eye opener. Like, because when you think about it, like you're playing against the best under 17 players in Europe, like, and so it's a real eye opener, like the physicality and the physical demands of the game, as well as the technical ability everyone possesses. Like, it's just it's a completely different level, and to play there. It was really eye-opening, but also to play there and to feel like I was at that level and I didn't fit in. Like, I think that was always also eye-opener of I've got a real chance at this, and like.
What about the training and the way everything is structured? Like, obviously Scotland is a way bigger kind of football country than Ireland.
Yeah.
Like, so in terms of like the setup and the coaching staff, the way they train, was that very, very different? Yeah,
it was different in the sense it's the most professional environment I've ever been in. Like, just everything was on it. Like, we'd probably have about 10 rounds of analysis before a game. Like, if the game's like 6 days away, we'll have like 6 days of analysis basically. It's like 2 or 3 times a day. Like, training, 11-a-side walkthroughs. Like, you'll do everything to try and get a result out of the game. So it was really interesting, and like, I just think like tactics wise and everything, like it was the most professional environment I've been around.
Also, I know that in that Man United game there was like one United player that was also in the Scotland squad, right?
Yeah, Cameron and Pofu. Yeah.
So you ended up playing against him in Hong Kong. Next minute you guys are in the same camp.
Yeah.
What was that like? Did you guys talk about this?
Yeah, so he was actually one of the first ones I saw on the camp. The funny story, I was super jet lagged coming, but I messaged him like, oh, do you want to get dinner? So we were going to get dinner that night. I don't know what time, it might have been maybe 7 o'clock. And then we were going to get dinner at 8. And then I said, we both said we were going to go for like a quick hour nap. And obviously I was jet lagged, so as soon as I went to sleep, I never woke back up. And so he was messaging me like, yo, we getting dinner, like, yo, bro, like. And then I woke up the next morning, and Christina, like, I remember telling her like what happened, and she was like, so you patched him? And I was like, basically, like, I was just sleeping. So that's a funny story. Like, you get a lot of these funny stories going away, but yeah, but he's a great guy, honestly. Yeah, so it was good seeing him in Hong Kong, and but yeah, it was funny like seeing what his experience was in Hong Kong as well, because like he just says like it's a concrete jungle, like he's not used to that in the UK. But for me, like it's just like a normal for me seeing all these buildings and stuff growing up here, all the noise as well. Like it's just like it's home basically. So like
another thing that I want to ask is also because for a normal young person, when all this happened to you in such a short space of time, it's very easy for you to kind of like get ahead of yourself, right? Like have a big head. Because obviously a lot happened in that short space of time. What, was it difficult for you to stay grounded, or was it something that you naturally are anyway, like, because of how you are?
Yeah, I think it's fine for me to stay grounded. Like, obviously you have to have a ego to some extent and a confidence when you go out on a football pitch, but like I think you always have to stay grounded because there's highs and lows. Like, I had a high of scoring and getting player of the match against United and going away of Scotland, and then I didn't play for 2 months, like, so 3 months really. So you can be really cocky and have a massive ego when you play football, but at the end of the day there's going to be humbling experiences, and so I think you always kind of never have to get too high or too low. You just got to kind of stay in the middle, and so that's what I try to do. Like, and obviously you can say I played for Scotland and stuff, but domestically, like at home, like we're bottom of the league, and I've only scored 1 goal this season. Like when you compare it to other players like Samuel Granada and stuff, who's top goal scorers and stuff in the league, like I've got a long way to go. Like I'm nowhere near where I want to be, so there's still a lot of work to do, and I'm like absolutely nowhere near like my top level, I think. So I just got to keep working and improving to get there.
I mean, you are very humble in how you are as a person in nature. Like, is that something that was instilled to you from a young age from your father, from your family, or was that something that you kind of built up over the growing up period?
Yeah, I don't think my mum and dad have ever let me get too big for my boots. My mum was messaging me before to say you better be here on time and stuff. Like, it's just a natural thing. Like, my parents have all really grounded people as well. They're lovely people, and so I just don't think that they'd ever let me get to that sort of. My sister probably thinks I'm a cocky Billy Big Boots, but nah, honestly, like it's my family, like just the morals and stuff. Like they've never really let me get too high or too low. Like if I need a kick up the arse, they'll definitely give it to me, and if I need a bit of help or anything, whether it's football, school, or just my personal life, like they'll help me. Like, So
How important do you think that support system is for you growing up? Like, you know,
yeah,
that's something that is very, because you have very good support since a
yeah,
very young
yeah,
age.
yeah.
And that might not always be the case in Hong Kong with a lot of local players,
Yeah,
pressures and stuff
yeah.
like that. So how important do you think that is for you in terms of your growing up?
Yeah.
The support network that you have.
Yeah, well, the support I've had since a young age, it's been unbelievable. My family, my friends, like the coach and staff I've had, like it's the reason I'm where I am today, and hopefully like the reason I get to better places in the future. But my parents have never put any pressure on me, like to be a professional footballer, or they just want me to be happy, and like so I think it's helpful. Like although my dad obviously would love me to be a professional footballer, but the thing is, sometimes it's a lot of parents' dreams, but being a professional footballer, it's my dream. Like it's not my parents' dream. So everything I do, it's my decision, and they go along with it, and they help me out, and so have my friends and my coaches throughout the years. So the support I've had is second to none, and I'm forever grateful to.
I mean, coming back to this season, obviously you mentioned that there has been a lot of setbacks from your own injuries.
Yeah.
Little niggles here and there. Like, how do you think this season has been for you personally? I know the club is not doing so well in the league.
Yeah.
For you personally, how do you think it has been for you?
Yeah, personally, it's probably been like, although I've not played as much, maybe have in previous seasons when you actually look at it, because I was sick and you go away to a camp and you don't play like as much as you'd like to. Even though I was sick, like it's still my biggest breakthrough season though. Like you still need, especially because I live in Hong Kong, like I'm probably not getting as much exposure as you normally would in the UK, but luckily for people like yourself and media people online, like I've got a lot of exposure and people probably see it online, which is really helpful. So it's kind of been a breakthrough season, I think, for me, like making a national team and stuff like this. Also scoring another goal was really helpful, like gets that off my chest so I don't have to feel that pressure for the rest of the season. But yeah, like it's really good, and I'd say it's one of my biggest seasons so far, and I just want to have more like them.
How do you think, what is your target now? So obviously you probably don't know where you're going to be next season.
Yeah.
What's in the future for you, like immediately, like after the last few games of the season, summer is coming, like where do you see yourself like next season, and what is your plan for next season?
Yeah, next season, like I really don't know as of now. Obviously I've got the build up to the sevens and the last league games of the season and the under 22 cup, and then I'll go away to Scotland and hopefully go on trial over the summer. Maybe down in England as well, just have to wait and see. And then come back and hopefully play against Man United again, see how that goes. And then that kind of takes me into pre-season, and there's still talks going on. I have to speak with the club after, like, because it's still not the end of the season, so just have to wait and see. But for now I'm just focused on the stretch towards the end of the season and the summer break.
I mean, this is a question for a lot of young players. Like, how do you balance your schooling with your football? Because obviously a lot of people are similar age to you. They're always stressed about balancing the two. Like, is it difficult for you, or how do you manage it?
It is, like, I can't sugarcoat it. Like, it is difficult, and I know I want to be a footballer, so obviously I have more focus on football. But maybe some people have more focus on school, or maybe some people just aren't allowed to not focus on school more, sort of, like, because school will obviously take you places like university, and I'm looking, like, I'll pass school, like I'll be okay. I'll take HSC, so the New South Wales curriculum in Australia, and I'm looking to pass. Like, I won't pass with flying colours obviously because I miss a lot of school for football, but like I still try to put it in. Like, I just had my mock exams last week, and they went mostly well. And then, so it's hard to balance it, like, there's no line about it, but if you really just spend your time correctly, like, you can be okay. Like, but I obviously have more of a focus on football, so, like, I can't speak for people who have more of a focus on school, like, but, yeah.
Alright, Kai, thank you for your time, man.
No worries, thank you.